personal. It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game is missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so this is some much welcome news for El Animal, Filip Hrgovic, the IBF heavyweight mandatory, the former Olympic, bronze medalist. One of the most ducked and avoided fighters in boxing. And I don't care what you guys say about how he looked or didn't look against Zhang. He is one of the most ducked and avoided fighters in boxing, whether you like it or not. There's just too many guys that have turned down fights with him for you to say that he's not ducked and avoided. Okay, so with that being said, a bit of positive news, a bit of positive news coming out of the Hrgovic camp, because it appears that he's made some changes to his team, not as far as his trainers, but as far as his representation is concerned. Now, I don't know if this means he's not with the Sutherlands anymore. I don't know anything about that, but he has gotten himself a pretty prominent figure in boxing to back him up, and I wanted to talk about that. So with that being said, and with that being established here on True School Sports, Filip Hrgovic has apparently enlisted the services of none other than the former manager of the year, one of the most powerful boxing managers out there, Keith Connolly. Yes, that Keith Connolly. Now, Keith Connolly, this guy, he knows how to move fighters. He's managing Edgar Berlanga, Daniel Jacobs, Adam Kalnacki, Mark Castro, and the list goes on and on and on. This guy knows how to move fighters. He's one of the most well-respected and influential managers in this entire sport. So if there was ever a guy that you'd want to manage and call the shots as far as Filip Hrgovic's career, there's not many guys better guys he could have got than Keith Connolly. And if there was ever a guy that had the influence with the sanctioning bodies and the powers that be to actually get him the fights that he needs to prove that he is who he says he is as one of the top heavyweights in the world, then it'd be this guy right here. But here's what Keith Connolly, I should say, said about being part of Team Hrgovic. He stated the following, and I quote, "I'm excited about being added to Team Hrgovic. I look forward to adding value to his career and guiding him towards a heavyweight title in the near future." And that's what it is. Now, he could have just stopped there. Keith Connolly would have been good enough for me to get excited about, but he's also enlisted the services of a new attorney, and that attorney is none other than what's the guy's name? Greg Smith. All right, now Greg Smith, for those that don't know, he's another prominent figure in boxing. Greg Smith happens to be the same attorney who works with Canelo Alvarez. So now Filip Hrgovic and Canelo, they got the same attorney. So you got a top manager, you got a top attorney. It looks like some shit's about to go down with his career, and I'm here for it. I can't wait. But here's what Smith, the attorney, had to say about working with Hrgovic. He stated the following, and I quote, "Filip is a good fighter and a great guy. After a decorated amateur career, he has risen to the top of the division in only a few fights, but he hasn't yet been in the kind of marquee fights that make his name known to the public. I'm proud that Filip has trusted me to be part of the team and to help him get to that next level." So there you have it. There you have it. Filip Hrgovic, listen, we've gone through it many times here on True School Sports. The governing bodies aren't doing their jobs. With the way the landscape of the division is, there's other mandatories that are being placed ahead of him, like Dubios and things like that. You've got guys like Wilder randomly jumping up to number one contender in the WBA rankings. I mean, the whole heavyweight division with the Usyk Fury saga is slowly but surely looking more and more like the welterweight division with Crawford and Spence. And it's not cool. It's not good. I mean, listen, I know people can say, well, who did Hrgovic beat to get into the IBF mandatory spot? The one guy he fought that was a top 10, top 15 guy in Zhang, he didn't look good against him, and I thought he lost to him. I could see all that, but the reality is he got the decision over Zhang, and on top of that, he beat who he needed to beat to get into that position with that particular governing body. I'm not here to argue whether he should have got the ranking or shouldn't have got the ranking, but he got to that position. And if you guys want boxing to start getting better, I don't care who it is. If a mandatory challenger gets into position and he's gone through as much politics as Hrgovic has over the last couple of years, then you got to start, calling it out for what it is. Other fights that people want to see more, yes. But should Hrgovic get a shot? if Usyk and Fury don't come into an agreement, yes, and I think he should get it more so than Dubois. Dubois technically, right? I think technically he may have become mandatory challenger longer because he became mandatory, I believe, when he beat Trevor Bryan last June. But Hrgovic was ordered to fight Michael Hunter for the final eliminator spot like in 2021, all right? And he had a whole year going through that. So he was really ordered to fight for the final elimination spot before Dubois, Trevor Bryan, way before that was even thought of or signed. So he should have been mandatory earlier if he would have beat Hunter. You know, who knows what would have happened if they would have fought. But what I'm saying is he's been in that final eliminator / mandatory type position for like 2 years. And his career hasn't really moved much since. So I'm glad he's got these guys in place. And hopefully this makes a difference in his career because, you know, I do think the guy that fought Zhang isn't him. I do think that he is one of the top heavyweights in the world. And I do think, listen, he's got the skills. He puts it all together. He's got the skills to beat whoever's at the top. And I don't care if it's Usyk or Fury, to be honest with you. I may be the only person that says that. And I'm not trying to be a contrarian. I just really do think highly of the guy. And I always have since I first learned who he was, you know, 5 years ago or 6 years ago, how long ago it was when I learned about him. He's got the size, he's got the skills, he's got the tenacity. He works extremely hard in the gym. He's disciplined. He lives the life. He can punch, obviously, as most guys can. He's got a great straight right hand. I mean, he has... And look, even in the Zhang fight, he showed you guys that in that particular fight, in that particular matchup, that he has some gumption. He can grind it out, and he can win if need be. You know, Zhang didn't win a lot of rounds in that second half of the fight. You know, truth be told, the best work he did were in the first 6 rounds, and then from then on he faded. And Hrgovic really, you know, got busy and got active and did enough to win the rounds. So that's why the judges gave it to him. But I digress. That's the news. Keith Connolly's new manager got Canelo's attorney. Let's see how things shake out for the most ducked and avoided heavyweight in the world, El Animo, Filip Hrgovic, the IBF mandatory challenger, Croatia's very own. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys subscribe so we can keep the dream alive here on True School Sports and keep pushing forward. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.